We live?
We
Okay.
are live.
Another episode of Real Chill Conversation. We have Natalie and Dominic here with us today. I thought that was happening.
Do we?
My camera
Okay, we are going to wait on Natalie and Edwina to come back in. Obviously, they're having some technical issues there, but we do have the topic for today, which is why do married people cheat? So we're just going to wait on them to come back in, and I will
I'm
add them
back.
to the
Okay, so
stream.
we're gonna start this over again because my ring light broke, y'all. So I'm trying to put it on my computer and it didn't work. So I apologize. So welcome back to Real Chill Conversation, y'all. Sorry about that.
It's okay. We all have problems.
So we are going to talk about another amazing episode, why married people cheat. And it could be men and it could be women because everybody, sometimes cheat. So we're going to discuss that today, why married people cheat. So Dominique, if you want to put your input on it, why you think married people cheat today?
I
This
will. Let me
world.
add Natalie into the stream.
Hey, I'm back, y'all.
Hey, Natalie. You
Hey,
missed
Natalie.
it. My camera fell like I told you guys. I was
Oh,
like,
it did?
yeah.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I hope it don't fall, but it fell. But hey, we're live. That's what happens.
We live.
That's right. Well, Edwina, I'm glad you brought up this topic because this is like a man versus woman type of thing. And, this is the same thing that I was talking about a few weeks ago when I had my topic for the podcast. So, first, I would like to go into, okay, I know we're talking about why do married people cheat, but let's do it. I want to try to do it. If you could try to do it separately, like let's talk about why women cheat, why wives cheat.
Okay.
So
It
you
could be
want to break
different
it down
things.
like that?
Why? Yeah, we can start with women if you
Okay.
want to. I personally feel like a woman may cheat if they feel like that they're being ignored at home. If their husbands and spouse is not paying them enough attention, and then somebody else comes along and pays them more attention. That is the reason why a woman may cheat.
And I do want to say this, Edwina, because I'm glad that you brought up being ignored. That has a lot to do with being unappreciative of that person. But even though if a man is saying the words, there has to be action behind it. And I think that's one of the things that women look for.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Am I right or wrong?
No, I agree with you. The action behind the relationship goes a long way.
Because I feel like women need those words of affirmation consistently to feel appreciated, to not feel ignored by their husbands. But I also do feel like women, like when we were talking about the love languages, you see what I'm saying? Like actions.
Yeah.
Those words have to have actions behind it. If there's no actions and there's just words, then it's really like a empty statement. What do you think, Natalie?
I feel like when it comes to marriage, it's like things are a little more like it's not just a regular relationship. Like things are a lot more locked in. So when it comes to women, a lot of times it is small things like, just attention, not getting help, not getting that consideration that would definitely cause her to stray. Also, there have been a few examples in the media where women have cheated on their husbands once they found out that they were already cheating. So retaliation.
Why is that?
Thing,
Revenge.
revenge. Yeah.
But after you cheat, how do you feel? Like if you want to do revenge, how do you feel after that?
But you know what? I was just about to say that because us as women, I don't think women were made for that too much, because even if a woman was to have an affair with someone else in a marriage, it still feels like our goodies means a lot to women. So I don't think they must feel good. I mean, I don't know. I can't be, you know what I'm saying? But
I don't think most people, when they get married, they tend to step out. It just happens. You either get bored with each other, or you fall in love with each other, or temptation just comes along, and you may one day see somebody that looks better than your spouse and want to see what it's like.
Somebody said married. Somebody said, Edwina, married or not, there is never a reason to cheat, period. If you can't work it out, then leave.
That's true. That's true. But nowadays, we see a lot of married people that are stepping out of their marriage, and we're trying to figure out why. What was the point of you saying I do through better or worse, sickness and health, if you're not going to stand by it? So that's why I'm trying to figure out why married people decide to step out.
I do want to say this as well. Like with women, I feel like lack of intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about sex. If Brenda was here, she could explain it real good because she's into intimacy. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, just like the touch, the feel.
Yeah, the dating, the touch, the holding hands. People don't do that anymore. Like your girl get out, your wife get out the car, and you just walking off.
Well, hold on. There are some men that still open the door. They're hard to find, but they're out there.
I didn't say every man. I'm just saying some.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So yeah, but I agree with you, Dominique. They don't do that.
Yeah, like that's missing nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's not the same anymore, kind of. Mm-hmm.
But dating is not the same anymore either. It's more of when you got on a date, it's like, I'll take care of my tab, you take care of your tab. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not the gentleman actually taking care of the male or opening the door and closing the door. It's like really dating. Dating's not the same anymore as well.
No, it's not. I've heard that.
For you to invite me and then say, "Oh, we going half." Yeah. Well, I could have ate alone.
Exactly. I could have taken myself out on a date.
I could have just watched and stared at my dog while I ate this burger.
Exactly.
Okay, what about loneliness? What y'all think about that? Because I feel like women as well. I mean, you can have a husband, you can have a partner, but if you're feeling kind of lonely in the marriage, that can be very damaging.
Yeah. I think if you express yourself in your marriage that you're lonely, you want to do certain things, and your husband or your wife or your spouse is not hearing you, that can make someone want to go out there and cheat and find somebody else to fulfill their needs.
So how many times do you think is too many times for you to have to keep repeating yourself? Like, hey,
I think to me, like if you're sitting down with your spouse and you guys are having a serious conversation, like, hey, babe, I wish we'll do more of this, and I wish you'll rub my back more, and he's just ignoring you. He's telling you by his language, his body language, oh, I don't care, even though
but that's what I'm saying. Okay, with the love language, because love languages, because I think that the love languages, I go back to that because you want to make sure that you fulfill her love language, and she wants to make sure she can fulfill your love language.
That's true.
If not, definitely it's not going to be.
Spouse, you need to find somebody that's on sort of similar love language as you. That's why they always say you need to be equally yoked, so you guys can be on the same page. So it won't be as difficult when you're together to communicate in your love language.
Definitely.
That's right. Can you talk a little bit more about equally yoked for the people that don't know?
I would say how I was raised equally yoked. It's on a spiritual level. Like you have to have the same mindset, the same spiritual mindset as well. That you guys like on a similar page. It's like, okay, you guys want to go to church together. You guys want to read the Bible together. And even if you don't want to go to church together, you guys like to travel together or do certain things the same way. You're not going to have somebody that doesn't want to travel and you want to travel. You're going to bump heads. Like, I like to go bowling. You don't want to go bowling. it's like we have nothing similar in common, but we're trying to make this work together. It's like, when we have kids, okay, I want my kid to go to a private school. You want your kid to go to a public school. Those are the questions that you need to ask when you're dating somebody off the bat. And that's what I mean by being equally yoked. And it's once again on a spiritual level as well.
Okay, so we can forget, we can not forget. Let's not forget about this one, okay? Some men are not fulfilling her sexual pleasure. And when I say sexual pleasure, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with quickies. But women are like an oven.
What did she say?
What are your thoughts?
Warm me up.
What she said there's something wrong with quickie, girl. Don't say that on this live.
Okay.
Rated R.
He don't have a problem with quickies.
But what y'all think about that though? Like, could that make a wife go and step out on her husband? Like, if you can. Every time, if you're fulfilling your needs and you're getting aroused, why can't
forget about that? Forget about your spouse's needs once your needs are met. And not all men, but some men can do that. Once their needs are met, they just forget about your needs sexually.
Okay, we have somebody that said on Facebook, and if you were wondering if there is a double standard with men when it comes to cheating, if you cheat on a man, most men never get over that.
At that point, we're at the end anyway. So who cares if he's getting over it or not?
Yeah. That means it's done.
Not to be selfish or mean, but that's
somebody
real.
said
you're already at that point where you feel like you have to cheat. Like, you're on your way out. Like, you shouldn't even be cheating. You should just be single and free to do whatever you want to do. Because if you're telling someone time and time again, it's like, hey, these are the things that I need, that I not only want, but I need these things out of a relationship to be my full self and to really not have any resentment towards you. Because that happens. If your spouse or whoever you're with is telling you or just showing you like, yeah, they're not doing the things that you want, that's going to create a resentment I know in me. I'm going to be like, okay, he's not doing these things that I'm telling him would make me happy. So he doesn't care. So now I can't do all the things that I want to do for him. I can't go and spend that bread, or I can't go and buy these, gifts and spoil him. And I'm not finna clean the bathroom. I'm not finna sweep shit up. I'm not finna mop. The dishes can stay there with everybody for themselves, if that's the case.
Yeah.
And then
so Natalie, what you're saying is once a spouse start the cheating process, there's no reason to be in a marriage at all.
No.
I think for women as well,
I agree.
From a woman's point of view, once a guy starts the cheating process, we'll stick around for a very long time, but then after a while we'll start to push back, and a guy knows when a woman starts to push back. From a woman's point of view, you could cheat all day, but when you see me disappear, don't ask questions.
Somebody said just leave, don't cheat.
Yeah,
I brought it up earlier when I was live streaming, and someone said something about what happened. People don't want to work it out anymore, and it's just like,
they could have thought about working it out before they cheated.
And that's in the beginning stages of dating and courting and seeing if this is the person that you want to be with. That's when you have the judgment. If we went through all this and then you want to get to marriage to cheat, it's like, well, what were you doing back then? And clearly, what was I paying attention to, the red flags or not?
Yeah. Dating, I feel like, is when you need to really get out your system. Don't say I do if you're not going to really stick with the marriage.
Oh my God, no.
We just talked about dating on our last podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the dating period, that should be for you to date whoever you want to date, to give yourself different possibilities, And that's why I said, if you're not dating, then you're closing yourself off to the person who may just be for you, but you're looking in the wrong places.
Exactly.
You're right. So, yeah. I totally agree with that.
It's competition, so you know who you really want to be with.
So what would you say? Like communication, right? Because that's the key in a marriage. To me, Intimacy is another one. Communication. Like you want to have that communication with your partner, because if your partner is not fulfilling your needs, then your excuse to go cheat will be, well, she wasn't fulfilling my needs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you never communicated that. You
Yeah.
see?
I think
So
when couples lay down at night, that's when they should communicate the most, because you can talk about your day, what's going on, and that's when you need to let all your feelings out on how you feel about the marriage, about the relationship, or what you guys can improve on, and what you guys are, what you guys are doing good at. That's the time to
we
really
have a
find
lot of messages,
down.
y'all. We have a lot of messages.
Yeah, the
Okay.
kids, you might
I'm,
each other.
I'm trying to
have that pillow talk. Every couple have pillow talk. That's when they gossip.
I'm trying to read one by one. Okay. Somebody said, so a marriage is over once the man cheats.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. A woman will stick around to see if he will really, honest to God, improve.
Yeah.
Not just for a couple of weeks, not for a couple of months, or not just for a couple of years. Just really see if he's honest to God is going to change.
But that's the same thing. If a woman cheats, the relationship should be over.
A man's not going to stick
girls
around.
And guys. If you don't value yourself,
woman cheats.
You're a dorm.
Absolutely. I think it goes either way.
Yeah.
If you cheat, if she cheat or he cheating, then what's the use of still being together?
Yeah. Because once that trust is gone, you're not going to trust each other again.
Right. And it's gonna take a really long time to build from there.
Mm-hmm.
You're always gonna have, I know women. I'm gonna say some women. I ain't gonna say all women, but some women gonna have that in the back of their head.
God. Okay. Yeah.
And it's gonna replay. And don't nobody want to live like that. I don't.
And I'm not saying that there's no hope for a marriage. I believe in counseling. I've always said it. If you go to counseling and you really are sorry about cheating and you guys really try to make it work together, it's probably hope. But that trust is always going to be gone. She or he is never going to fully trust you again.
And the average person, most people don't know how to come back from that. Like you could really be, sorry, and you can have those regrets, but most of the time, like, we're human, we don't know how to come back from it. I know in the past, like when I first started dating and I would have situations come up like that, it's like most people just get defensive. They're not looking to fix the problem and come to a solution. They're just trying to get out of it and not look like the bad person themselves, instead of just saying, okay, this happened. Okay, what.
Talk about their mistakes, Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they did it.
Okay, so.
And it doesn't work that way. Women, we can't move on. We have to talk about it. And that's why I think we always go to our friends for situation, because we really can't talk to our spouse about certain things. We turn to our friends for advice, even though sometimes it may not be the best advice, but who else can we turn to when we're going through so much? Mm-hmm. You want to talk to your counselor, but your counselor's already telling you to basically, either give your marriage a try or leave the marriage. And it's like, but your friends are always there through thick and thin. They know what you're going through, so I know sometimes we're not supposed to talk to our friends, but that's what we could turn to when we're going through a situation like that.
And every marriage is at a different stage, so it's going to be different if you're just starting out, as opposed to whether you have kids and more time, more experience actually being locked in with this person. So everybody's situation is different. It just depends on that person who you're with. And if you're going to have a lot of resentment, I wouldn't advise trying to get over it, because it's just going to keep building up inside of you. It's just going to be, y'all just there. And it's not like we're dead. We got to keep.
Somebody said that's why we turn to our friends and not y'all, because when we tell y'all our business, your whole friend circle gonna know we don't want your friends judging us ladies.
It sounds like you would work late.
Is that a man right in the comments?
It has to be.
We're okay, y'all. So now let's go to men. Why marry man cheat?
I thought we were already on this.
I do have something to say. I read an article, right? Because y'all know I love to read,
Mhm.
and I do my research. So somebody was saying that women are like sold this dream of Prince Charming. So this false sense of hope in a man, knowing that the man is not perfect and he could just slip off and, you know,
I
cheat.
want to know why men have so much leisure. Like, why do they get so much leeway? Because it's just as hard as a man to control his urges as it is for a woman. We be wanting to do too. Shit. So if we can hold it down and say, hey, let me be classy, why can't a man say, hey, let me have some self-respect for myself. Let me show some self-control, some dignity, morals, and ethics or something. It shouldn't just be on the woman all the time to be like, oh, well, it's going to be looked at as this, as this. I'm looking at these men like, okay, do you have scrap meat, damaged goods, or what is that? Because I don't want it as a respectable woman. I don't want that either. A man to be like, oh, well, I had sex with 100 women, but that was the old me.
That's nasty.
Sir,
We don't.
be for real.
Another study showed that men, well, of course, like women, felt unappreciated by their wives, not only physically but emotionally, and no signs of love.
That can probably give them a reason to cheat. I'm just trying to make a person feel good because I don't want anybody to think that we're coming after them. So,
hey, what about masculation though? Let's talk about that because
we talked about that already. Remember that? Yeah, in another podcast.
No, masculation, like feeling judged or criticized.
To cheat?
Like if the wife is judging him, criticizing him, they feel like that is the need to go out there and cheat.
Your job can judge you. You're gonna do something on your job that gives you a reason to cheat.
Yeah, I think it comes back to communication because
it's all about communication. Because let me tell you, you can be the perfect wife, cook, clean, take care of the kids, make sure that he's having, you guys having sex every night. If he doesn't want you, he doesn't want you. You see what I mean?
Somebody saying, because we are different, we don't play by the same rules. Not saying I sleep with whoever, but I, as a man, don't release oxytocin, and you all do.
So that's it.
Remember, Brenna was talking about that. That's that
but
good feeling.
That is still that doesn't make sense. Is that a reason to cheat because you produce something else that we don't?
You still have no
Brenna when we need her.
I'm just
Brenna.
Is that a reason?
We love you.
Cheat? Just say I don't want to be married. Right. I'd rather have fun, and I'd rather just sleep with whoever I want to sleep with.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Don't be married. Don't have kids and say that I'm going to be faithful to you no matter what, and you're not. And then you expect for me to stay home and just take care of the kids while you out there and have your fun. And
and there's some people that actually believe that men, like they just said in the comments, can sleep with whoever they want because that proves somehow of a masculinity
as a hoe. Even though a woman shouldn't do that, but why would you want to go out there and sleep with anybody? People are just nasty nowadays. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm not gonna say how I feel.
But that's a whole nother podcast.
You just feel like you can just justify.
We're gonna save that for the STD talk.
Yeah, that's the STD talk. But you can just sit there and you can just stick your little penis and everything and think it's a justifiable. No, don't make me upset. That's just nasty.
Somebody said, I don't believe that, but you can't ignore biology.
Yeah, it probably is, but that doesn't. Okay, you produce it. Why you just have sex with your wife every night? Why do you have to go out there and find anybody else to sleep with? And you don't know what this other person has when you bring it home to your wife. Screw your wife. You're that horny. Screw her 5 times a day.
Yeah, that's too much.
Okay, so I'm glad you're talking about
Natalie, we're on a different level when it comes to stuff.
Let's go to the lack of satisfaction because the study also said that men find themselves cheating because their wives are not intimate, emotional, and they can't please them right. How a man should be pleased.
Well, if a woman is working 9 to 5 and she comes take care of the kids and take care of you, it can be a little tiring. And as a husband, I hope your husband is very understanding that when you come home every day, you may not want sex, but you're still trying to please your man in the process. And he should be a little respectful not to cheat on you because you're exhausted from dealing with people at work as well as your kids.
Look, Edwina, somebody said lies about the lack of satisfaction. Somebody said I was pleased. I made a mistake.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what to say. If you made a mistake, just make the mistake right if you can, if it's not too late.
Yeah.
What about the lack of privacy?
What do
What
you
type?
mean, with the kids or what?
No, like, men want their privacy.
To do
So
what?
they feel like if some men want their privacy, some men, let
For
me
what?
throw that out there.
No,
Some men,
I'm not gonna say that's true because you can let your husband play the game all day, have his privacy, and he's still gonna go cheat.
This is the
so
thing.
either way it go,
Yeah, it doesn't.
ain't no excuse.
Privacy. If a man wants to cheat as well as a woman wants to cheat, you're opening that door for somebody to come into your marriage, into your relationship, and you're gonna cheat.
And that's why I try to be as good of friends as I can with whoever it is that I'm with and whoever it is that's going to be building up to that husband role. Because if we're not friends and you got my back, I got your back first, it's way easier because they're just seeing you as an object. And
Yep.
most guys, they can't separate the two unless you're either somebody that they're making money with, which is another qualification of mine. We have to be having some type of business up front. Like we have to be getting some type of money together up front, and then okay, it will grow into some love later. But if we're not working together, if we don't have no type of nothing that's going to create a bond besides just laying down with each other, then it's not really giving much room for growth. It's not giving much room to really create that bond where it's like, okay, I know my nigga got my back. Like my man, who man? Y'all, my man? Oh no. So it's just like
My man too, Natalie.
I'm telling you, it takes having good judgment up
Yeah,
front.
you do.
So what do y'all feel about the people who do the whole polygamy thing? Like they have a lot of love to share, they just not sharing it with one person.
That's
But they feel like that
I
is better because you don't have to deal with the cheating and all the lies and stuff like that.
So are any women the leaders of a polygamous relationship?
thank you,
Because
Natalie.
there are plenty of women that like to get loved on all
Mm-hmm.
hours of the day, I'm sure,
Mm-hmm.
and have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So
Mm-hmm.
what's the
I
difference?
know that's right.
Like, I just am always confused about the polygamy. If it's like just a group of people, or is there like somebody that's the leader that everybody wants, or if it's like everybody wants everybody, or like what are the dynamics to that type of relationship? Because I'm like, this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all say bottom line, cheating is wrong, is dead, is there's no excuses. Is that what we saying?
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm saying if you're going to cheat, don't get married.
Yeah, you can't take it to that next level.
I think that's a very harsh thing to go through, and it's not easy. So I'm talking about men too, because men get cheated on as well.
They do.
Um, it's a very harsh very it's not a good feeling. It's a harsh process to even try to get over something like that, especially if it comes to your attention. Because some people say, oh, what you don't know won't hurt. But as soon as that shit comes to the light, you see what I'm saying? It's a whole different story. So I feel like is it's bad. It's bad, and I don't think that people can really recover from that unless, like Edwina said, you seek counseling. And I don't even think counseling. Hold on. Go ahead, Edwina. I'm reading something.
I was going to say, in the relationship where you're being cheated on, it is hard to recover. But once you go through counseling and you have done your self healing, and when God bless you with another amazing man, or no, not another, but the amazing man, it's a different story when you have been in one relationship where a person is cheating and not doing right from a person that is really treating you the way you're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
You start to feel different. You start to look different. You start to glow. It's just an amazing feeling. So, and you'll know it when you find that person that treats you really good. So, just don't get
That's a fact.
I heard that.
Yeah.
You start to glow different. You start to, just be in a happy place as you should.
Start to lose weight. Girl. Take trips.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, I don't trust men at all. My ex messed it up for the other ones.
See, and that's what I'm saying. And I don't want her to feel that way. I would say continue just to go to counseling, write in your journal, do self-love, take yourself on a date. When I was single, I was taking myself on dates,
Right.
enjoying life and doing stuff that I would want my next person to do. Because you're setting that standard for yourself and for the next person. You see what I mean? So don't give up because somebody messed you up. Just go out there and enjoy life. Because by you staying single and not enjoying life, your ex sees that. Girl.
Right. Yeah, that's what I believe that as well. Like all men are not the same. And just because one messed up, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that there's not the guy out there for you. Like all men are not the same. There are some men out there that will, be faithful to their wives and treat them good. So I wouldn't go with that. I don't think everybody is the same. No.
You're going through that break.
I still think it's some good people.
Yeah, they are. And I was saying there's some men that will actually stick by you and work with you while you're going through that stage of being hurt and not wanting to talk to anybody. Like there's some good men out there.
Mm-hmm. Any more comments? I know they're getting crazy with us today.
Oh my God, like for real, y'all.
Did we touch something today about married people?
I can't read. I can't read all of them. Somebody said it's bad men, it's bad women. You can't escape if you just have to pay attention.
That's true. Like Natalie says, know the red flags. When you see them, run from the hills.
Okay.
So, do y'all have any closing statements for tonight?
Nope. Just on that, like it says, if you're married, be committed, be faithful, be honest and true in your marriage. And if you have stepped out of your marriage and you know you want to make amends, just do what you have to do the right way. Go seek counseling and really just make an honest change, not for a season, but make that commitment of change.
I agree with what they said. There's bad people, both men and women, but there are also good. So don't give up. If you are looking for a committed relationship, an honest, loyal person to be with, it's out there. You just have to have good judgment and, choose wisely. But don't give up. Just what was I going to say? I was going to say, don't go into it with already having negative, like preconceived notions, because you got to give it 100%, just like you would for the first person you ever dated. Try that again. Don't just keep pulling from yourself and your energy. You just got to give it 100% all over every time.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And I agree with you, Natalie. Be positive. If you had a bad relationship or a bad
Marriage.
you know, husband or wife or whatever you want to call it in the past, just make sure that you don't take it into your new blessing. I'm gonna say blessing relationship.
Not fair.
And right, it's not fair to the new person because you want to get to not know that person, and that's how it all starts. Communication, trust. You know, when you first meet someone, all those things are there, like Edwina was saying. So
I
sorry, y'all.
understand. Look, my phone fell earlier, so hey, things happen. It's live. They're gonna see the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay.
They saw all three.
I'm sorry, y'all, but yeah, that was my daughter. Somebody said, "Amen, Dominique."
Amen.
Amen.
Lord. Praise them.
That's
She's
it.
trying to get in the podcast.
Oh,
I said she's trying to get in the podcast.
That's my letter. Well, that's it, lady, for another great episode, guys. I guess we're gonna see you guys next Wednesday at 8.
8 p.m.
Bye bye. Peace out.
Bye.